Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Holistic Happy Hour. As a colon hydrotherapist, I love today's topic of a detox. We have for you 6 5-minute segments on a myriad of ways in which to detox on all different levels. And first up is Kimberly.
Hi there, everyone. Kimberly Marsh, astrologer, life and business coach. Here to talk about the astrology of what's going on right now. And again, I can't say enough how interesting and fascinating it is to be watching all this unfolding astrologically. So we all had the lunar eclipse on the 5th. We are in eclipse season now. The next one is approaching June 21st, and that is a solar eclipse at 0 degrees Cancer. That coincides with the summer solstice. This is a very powerful time. This is such a powerful time we're in. And for what I'm feeling coming up is one of the most challenging aspects of the energy that's going on right now is planning and not knowing how to plan or what to plan or when to plan or anything. And there seems to be this wanting to plan, wanting to know how to plan. And maybe that's just in our nature, but this is not the time to be making any plans. As much as you might be wanting that, this is not a time for making decisions, for deciding. Right now, yesterday we had the sun square Neptune. Tomorrow we have Mars joining Neptune. All the while, the moon is in Pisces right there with Mars and Neptune. Things are very murky, very foggy right now, almost dreamlike. And many of you may be feeling tired and sleeping more. Definitely pay attention to your dreams. I know I'm feeling tired, just dragging right now, this energy, especially with eclipses, because eclipses are so intense, they can really wipe us out energetically. But back to the Mars and Sun and Neptune, this energy, it makes us more susceptible to toxins, to infections, even like allergic reactions. This could be something that you've been ingesting or using or taking your whole life, and then all of a sudden you're having a reaction to it. So we're super ultra sensitive right now. The moon in this sign is also amplifying that sensitivity. So detoxing, this energy is perfect for detoxing, for removing the toxins. And toxins come in lots of different ways. We've heard of toxic relationships, we've heard of toxic chemicals, toxic energy, and to really take this sleepy time and sort of dream about what areas in your life are being affected by different toxic energies, whatever that might be, whatever that, it could be food, it could be, and I know during the quarantine and this time down, a lot of people, myself included, have let routines slip or have changed our routines into maybe unhealthy routines. And so it's about getting back to that space of really taking care of yourself on all levels and letting go of anything that is not making you healthy to your utmost health. This is really important right now as Mercury has just entered into Cancer. We have this, and it's about to go retrograde next week. Mercury in Cancer already makes us want to be in our home, okay? It's about home. It's also very emotional. This is where communication is going to turn very emotional. And with this going retrograde there, for me, it's like, okay, it's a return to home. And I can't help but see the news and see that numbers are spiking, and I feel like this, we are headed back towards, and I'm not sure that it'll get shut down again like it was shut down before. I think that, economy is so important right now, but certain areas might definitely get shut down where there's not hospital capacity. But it's still stay close to your home now. Take care of your health. Again, with this energy of being susceptible to toxins and infections, we might see an even bigger rise in numbers happening, which I think we all suspected would happen. So, as much as you can, take care of yourself and ride out this energy. Take it easy and take care. Next up, we have Susan.
Hey, as a colon hydrotherapist, I must give a shout out to colonics. I remember when I did my first colonic, I had a spiritual epiphany on the table. It was like, yes, I have to get rid of all my old shit physically and emotionally to feel good. So thumbs up to a physical detox with colonics. A quick detox for your auric field is to chant Om 3 times. For that high vibration, sound vibration is a great clearing. But my favorite detox, of course, is taking a deep dive into our inner territory to see what feelings and thoughts are stuck there that are giving out toxic vibrations into all our different systems. And today we're going to go talk to our liver, which is the seat of our anger. And we're going to send it some acknowledgement and love at first so the organ can soak up that high vibration so that whatever's there that's not an energetic match can lift up and out. So that's the plan for today. So if you would want to close your eyes and take a deep breath and let that deep breath bring you deep into the center of your being. And with our intention, we are going to send some love and thank yous to the liver, which is on the right side of your body, just underneath your lower ribs. And we want to send streams of appreciation to it. Thank you, liver, for filtering all our blood and keeping us alive. Send it love, send it thank you for the energy of life that it gives us. And imagine energetically as these vibes are going into the liver, you start to notice or see there's some emotion is rising up out of the liver. Any anger that has been hanging out there and getting sludgy. Just notice what starts to rise up. It can be represented by a little creature usually. But see what comes to you. And as this energy lifts up, imagine that it floats into your hands. And as you hold it, taking responsibility for storing it, know that it is just energy. Emotion is energy in motion, and all energy follows thought. So if you choose, have the creative thoughts of letting this anger dissipate and say to yourself, I choose to live life to the fullest, which means feeling my feelings and keeping them moving, embracing every experience of my life for my highest and best. Feel or see this energy lighten up, and it starts to move. And as it starts to move, it'll want to find an exit point out of your body, which is usually through your fingertips. And just let that energy go and feel the relief and lightness in your liver, in your whole being. And take another deep breath and open your eyes. Well, I'm Susan Coffey with Ancestral Healing Arts. I hope you've enjoyed this spiritual hygiene moment. And next up is Stacy.
Hey everybody, Stacy Westbrook with the Weed Shaman Collaborative. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I want to talk about detoxing with regards to conscious cannabis consumption in 2 different ways. So I am week 4 into a 12-week kind of detox of better eating, and I still utilize cannabis. I just utilize it sort of differently. So if you are a person who loves to eat like the little chocolate thingies, they've got a lot more sugar and, you know, they're big. It's like dessert. So these go away when you're doing a detox. And a lot of times beginners will start with things like chocolate because they don't want to eat things that like really taste really weedy. But over time, as you consume, that kind of changes and you're kind of into the weed. Like a nice fine wine, you're sort of looking for a specific flavor. So one of the ways that you can do that to detox is to take something down from that big chocolate edible to something really small with less than 1 gram and 1 carb, which is this little gel edible from this company that we call Plus. And that's really great. You can take something like that twice a day and feel wonderful. And also the other thing is to take something like a sublingual, and this is a nighttime sublingual. And no extra, really anything in there, just a little bit of coconut oil. So that's a way you can do that. And also understanding that there are certain strains with high THCV, which is a fantastic cannabinoid for people who are looking to lose a little bit of weight, because it actually reduces your hunger. So I'm going to just name off a few strains that have this high THCV content in them. And again, we're always experimenting. This could be a great thing for you guys to do, to smoke just a couple little smokes before you're eating or you're out enjoying a walk. So we've got a brand called, a strain, Power Plant, Cherry Pie, which is totally one of my favorites because I love the name, and Tangy, and then Durban Poison. But you can literally go on Google and just literally type in high THCV strains, and it'll come back with a whole bunch of them because there are thousands of strains out there. Now, the second way I want to address detoxing is for a tolerance break. So this is more for long-term users or heavy users, people that have been using for a while or use heavily during the day. And so multiple times a day, basically. So a tolerance break is just exactly that. So I'm just going to give you a few tips and tricks. So cannabis is not addictive, like physically addictive to the body, but it definitely is a mind game, just like kind of any other detox. You have to sort of like explain to your body, your mind, we're going to be doing this. And a lot of times for me, it took me like a good week. Somebody said, we're going to do this. And I said, when are we detoxing? Because I need that downtime. I need to like kind of like explore in my own body and make sure that I'm ready, body, mind, spirit, because I want the most successful bang for my buck. So it's the same type of a thing. So leading up to a tolerance break, you might want to do something like slowly start taking down the amount of milligrams that you're consuming, whether that's edible or smoking, and even plan your tolerance break around when your stash is almost out. So you're not even worried about, having it around. Hide your bongs, your pipes, all of the same things that you would do when you're eating well. You get rid of the crackers and the snacks and all of those things. It's the same type of deal. We're just dealing with cannabis here. So a tolerance break can be anywhere from 3 days to 3 months, because we know that we're talking about the high feeling that a lot of users, including myself, really enjoy at the end of the day. And basically THC, the cannabinoid, will build up in your CB1 receptors, which are primarily found in your brain, but they're in other areas as well. And it's also stored in your fat cells. So while you're going through a tolerance break, you'd want to maybe enjoy a little bit more water than usual, put some lemon in there, definitely move your body. So it's very, very similar to how you would do that with food. And be mindful of the fact that if you are imbibing for medical reasons and you still decide to do a tolerance break, that you might not sleep as well. So maybe look at melatonin, maybe make sure you have a nighttime ritual in place. You might be in a little bit more pain. And this might be a great time for a THC user to go out and explore hemp, which hemp in this country is less than 0.3 THC milligrams. So it's not going to get you high, but that CBD effect of anti-inflammation and the soothing and the calming and the anti-anxiety, you will still be able to enjoy that. You just won't be high and, having the psychoactive experience. So I encourage everybody, whether it's a yearly, at the top of the year when you're, the new year rolls around, or quarterly, like a lot of people do when they change up their diet. Just respect that. And then that way too, you're also spending a lot less money because your tolerance is now back down a little bit lower than it was when you started. And PS, when you do start to consciously imbibe your cannabis after any type of detox, make sure you take that down to at least half of what you were doing by the time you started, because you will overwhelm all your cannabinoid receptors like all over again. So take it nice and easy. We like a Petrament. It really is called Petrament. They're 2.5 milligrams, so it's a nice micro dose to get you back to where you want to be. So please enjoy, y'all. And next up is Miss Carrie. Thank you so much.
Hi, Carrie Berkey here. I'm the author of the Free Spirit Guidebook, and today we're going to do a flower clearing exercise. So this is a visualization that is kind of perfect to do when you feel kind of like that you've almost been a big piece of Velcro all day, and maybe longer than that. And later in the day, you notice you're feeling grumpy, crabby, short-tempered, and just not really understanding what it's from. And a lot of times it is because you have just picked up everybody's stuff that you've encountered all day. It could be the news, it could be people, it could just be something in traffic, but it's all here. It's like attached to you, it's all floating around, and you're not really knowing how you yourself are feeling right now. So we're going to tap into the energy of flowers and kind of clear some of that up. So I just want you to get comfortable. You're going to try to sit up as tall as you comfortably can, and you're going to close your eyes. So let's just focus on our breath for a moment here. I just want you to take a couple deep inhales and exhales out of your nose. And first, just connecting with the breath helps bring you into the present moment. Okay, now just allow your breath to relax. And I want you to imagine yourself as you are sitting right now where you are, and just the area around you. And imagine that this area and you have been acting like a piece of Velcro for today, for the week, for the last month, for the last year. And I want you to notice all this stuff stuck in there. Maybe you see people, maybe you see words, maybe you see kind of dark energy, and just kind of take notice of all of that stuff that you're kind of carrying around with you. And just acknowledge it. Try not to beat yourself up for it, and just know that it is what it is right now. And now I want you to picture a flower on a stem. Just notice what shows up. A beautiful flower. Maybe the flower kind of has sparkles around it, and this flower is just floating in front of you. And the petals on this flower just have a nice stickiness to them. And right in front of your face, I just want you to start noticing this flower is just kind of moving around, and it's starting to collect everything that's not yours, that you've picked up, that's toxic, that's negative, that you just don't need anymore. It's sticking to these flower petals. And then I just want you to imagine the flower just kind of flicks itself away, and that energy that's in front of you is just kind of being transmuted into neutral energy. And now this flower is going to move around you. It's going to move to the crown of your head. You can imagine it moving around your head, kind of thinking of pulling thoughts that maybe are recurring right now that aren't helping you. And it's moving around. Just imagine all of this stuff, junk, collecting around the flower, and then the flower flicks it away. And you're going to imagine the flower moving down the front side of your body, maybe going in circles, just collecting, moving all around, and then flicking it away. Imagine it going around the back side of your body, moving around and then flicking away. I want you to imagine it going down one arm, then imagine it at the palm of your hand, kind of drawing anything out there and flicking it away. Then now the other arm, it's moving down, gets to the palm, kind of draws more energy out there and flicks it away. You're going to do the same with the leg. So it goes down one leg all around, both sides, front, back, inside. Then I want you to imagine it at the bottom of your foot, drawing any more energy that you don't need out, and it flicks it away. Other leg, front, back, side, side, moving around, all of that stuff you don't need. Collecting, flowers got it. Going to the bottom of your foot, drawing any more out, flicking it away. So I just want you to imagine now this flower just kind of doing a final sweep all around you. Just grabbing anything you don't need. It's all collected, and I just want you to imagine that flower again, one last time, flicking it away. So now I want you to imagine that space around you just being clearer. Think of the color of the flower you chose, and I want you to imagine that area around you filled with that color of light. And if the flower you chose has a strong scent that you can connect to, I want you to imagine that space around you filled with that scent. Take some deep breaths here. Just enjoying this new state of being. Enjoying your connection to the flower, helping you clear out toxic energy. And reminding yourself that anytime you feel like this, get your flower to do some work for you. You can do this in the middle of the day, and it's also nice to do right before you fall asleep. So slowly begin to open your eyes. And I just want to finish with the affirmation that I've associated with this. So you can say it with me in your head if you like. I am connected to flowers and their energy clears my aura. Enjoy. Next up, we have Paula.
Thank you, Carrie. That was wonderful. Ooh, my flower was sort of like a dust, you know, those things you dust with that was flicking everything away. It was great. I'm Paula Shaw. I am a life transition coach. I am the author of this book, Grief, When Will This Pain Ever End? And also the host of Change It Up Radio. So toxicity is a very, very interesting issue. I think so often we do think of toxicity in the body and we think about detoxing on a physical level. But I want to talk to you today about detoxing our thoughts, detoxing on another level. Because as we all know, everything is made of energy, right? Energy vibrating at different frequencies. Our thoughts, our feelings, our bodies, it's all energy vibrating at different frequencies. And the frequency of toxicity and toxic thoughts is a low, slow, dense vibration. And what we ideally want is our vibration to be high, to be light, to be clear. And so toxic thoughts drag us down. And it's amazing to me how easy it is to fall into toxic thinking. Just this morning, I was on my walk and I'm thinking about this very topic of detoxing. And as I'm walking down the street, I'm noticing that I'm going, ooh, that's really beautiful. God, I wish they'd paint the trim on that house. If it was white, it would just pop so much more. Oh, darn. And this, they didn't really take care of that, you know? And all of a sudden I was just like, whoa, I am creating toxicity here, left and right, with my thoughts of criticism and judgment. Criticism, judgment, anger, resentment, and a lot of people are going through those kinds of thoughts these days. So I think it's really important that we become aware of what kind of thoughts we're thinking. And it's really important that we do active conscious work to detox from that kind of thinking, because we don't want that building up and that low, slow, dense vibration eventually becoming who we are. So one of the best ways I know of to detox those toxic thoughts is to move to high vibration thoughts consciously too. You have to catch yourself doing this and then consciously move to high vibration thoughts. And one of the highest vibrations that exists is gratitude. So I immediately try to start looking at what I'm grateful for. Like on that walk this morning, as soon as I caught myself judging everybody's paint job, you know, I moved to, oh, look how beautiful her succulents are coming up. Oh, that's blooming. The sky is perfect this morning. The air feels so good. And I could almost feel this shift, you know, like right then and there. It can be that palpable. You know, other ways you can shift are thinking of things that always make you smile. Maybe you have a dog or a puppy that always makes you smile. Babies. I mean, really, I encourage clients in my practice working with people going through life transitions to keep a little, like on your computer, on your phone, a little file of pictures, maybe of babies, maybe of sunsets, maybe of puppies or whatever, something that always makes you smile. That can be a great way of detoxing. And of course, if you're somehow in a place where you're in such a funk, you can't come up with anything that you're feeling grateful for or that makes you smile, Just put on some great music, nice and loud, and dance it out, or sit on the earth. That can be a great way of detoxing as well. So remember, if you're in judgment or criticism or anger or resentment, you're probably into low, dense, toxic thoughts. So move to love and gratitude and anything that makes you smile and makes you feel glad to be alive. All right. Next up, deep.
Namaste, everyone. So today we'll be talking about detoxing, the removal of toxins from the body. I'll take it a little bit deeper and cover up the multi-dimensions of toxins. So when we talk about toxins, it could develop within the body, like through drugs and alcohol, which is like more common, but also when over-the-counter prescriptions. We recently watched a documentary, What the Health, and I'd highly recommend that. It shows the different levels of food, toxins being developed from food, from pesticide, from so many different things that we don't even think about. Your chemical laundry, I mean, the laundry chemicals that's used in it, the fabrics, so everything could create toxins in the body, this external elements. The second examples of toxin that could develop within the mind, as Paula was saying, like the 6 evils, which they say greed, hatred, anger, lust, ego, and pride, and also the blockages within the chakras, fear, guilt, shame, untruth, illusion. So, and then there's attachment. And then as Paula was also mentioning about negativity, people's negativity. I mean, just imagine all the things that one person goes through and the different factors that constantly influences a person. So multiply that by over 7 billion people around, and I mean the collective consciousness, and especially the friends and families that are close to you, the constant engagement with them. So there'll be some kind of toxicity being developed within the mind, which we may or may not be conscious and aware of. And then the examples of toxicity within the soul as well. It's like every action that we take, there's always a reaction. I mean, when in the East, we believe in life, the circle of life, right? I mean, depending upon where one's consciousness is, when they get reborn, that's where the soul chooses. I think it's a longer topic, so maybe we'll keep it for next time, but they could be, depending upon the actions that you do, there'll be toxicity developed within the soul as well. But at least there's hope for all these ways, and there are ways to remove those toxins. So for the body, I mean, like there's so many different kinds of cleanses, like from the cayenne pepper cleanse to liver cleanse, hydrotherapy. So there are other specialists who can answer that more. I'll focus on the mind. For the mind, again, our go-to topic is always meditation. There are many various different meditations, and after I go through this, I'll share my experience with 2 different kinds of meditations. But the one that we are specialized in is the sound meditation. When people approach us coming to the sound meditations, we use a variety of different instruments. I mean, the purpose is like your mind is very active. If you are able to slow down the pace of your mind to a point where you're not constantly bombarded with different thoughts, then the body is so amazing that if you just give it time, it can heal itself. And what you have to do to assist it is like proper food, just taking care of the body, massages, anything, just taking time for yourself, which we constantly are running around that we forget to do. And then when we talk about cleansing of the soul, it's like being mindful of every action. If something hurts you, then why do you want to do that to other people? When I was interviewing different monks and different people for a research, then a Rinpoche, what do you call, a monk in Escondido, he had mentioned, if you fill your life with service, with constantly doing good things, those are the actions that will help you when the times are at the lows. It'll never let you go down. There's always something to keep you afloat. So physically, when you do act of kindness, act of charity, act of service, those are the things that will constantly help you not to go to the lowest level. So with that, like, there were two different meditations that I recommend. I think I've mentioned it before too. One was the 10-day silent retreat of Vipassana. That meditation, we had about 100, 112 people, and 10 days of silence, no eye contact, even though there were that many people, you could just go within. I mean, that experience, after I completed that experience, when the mind slowed down and I was able to, like, somebody talks within the mind and gives you different experience and shares those different understanding. The second meditation, it was a 5-day silent meditation where I didn't see anyone at all, no cell phones, no TVs. And in each of these 5 days, I tried to slow down or shut down one of the senses, like your breath. Sometimes, like, I try to put a clip, or one day I blindfolded myself. So each of these different senses, I started shutting down and went on full raw food diet, and used 21 different mantras, chants, for overall in the 5 days, it was over 64,000 chants. So what I experienced from that is, like, first thing, it was very peaceful, because it's like when you don't have this constant bombardment of information, thoughts and everything, you're able to go so within that everything becomes calm, everything becomes quiet. It's like there are not many ripples. After the 5th day, when I opened my phone, then when people had left voice messages, all you could hear is complaint. Even people just talking and sharing what they were going through, it felt like people were complaining. So it just changes your thought of mindset. And when I first saw the animals, like, it doesn't create as many ripples, but as soon as you see people, something happens, and it was like a shock coming out of this 5-day meditation. So if you have never experienced not being around anyone, I'd highly recommend something like this, so that you could go within, and through the food, through slowing down everything, you begin to remove those different toxins that you're not aware of on a daily basis. So the bottom line is, as we are born with human conditions, we have certain choices. It's important to take time to understand these choices, like from the food you take to the meditations to anything. We do have those choices to make changes. So our most important need for a quality of life is health. So it's important to notice your health of your mind, your body, and also the soul as well. So if you feel like there's something that's missing in your life, it's important to make those choices and bring about change and detox and let go. So thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Deep. Well, we have been Holistic. We hope you are happy. If you would like more information, please check out our Holistic Happy Hour website. Namaste.